Hello everyone, this is Logan, and today I thought I would show off kind of an interesting little application called Record My Screen. Now this used to be available in Apple's App Store, but unfortunately Apple took it down due to, I would assume, some kind of privacy concerns. Now what this app basically allows you to do is, well, record your screen. Record the screen of your iPhone, iPod, or iPad. And this will record just about anything. Let's just go into maybe a random application. I don't know, clock. Why not? And as you will see, it can record that. Just start the stopwatch, stop, lap. You get the idea. So it will record just about anything. Now, before we get any further into Record My Screen, I just want to go over some alternatives, just in case, you might want something that you think is better, or, maybe just better suits your needs. The first one is called iTools. Now, I personally do not recommend this, because it was not a screen recorder. It was not designed first to be a screen recorder. In fact, it really wasn't designed to be a screen recorder, period. Now, this is available on both Mac and PC for absolutely free, and it was kind of designed to be sort of an iTunes alternative, or music storage, so it will sync up with your iDevice, iPhone, iPad, etc., and that will work. Now, you also have... But yeah, the screen recorder isn't very good. It's pretty laggy, and I just don't recommend it. Plus, you need a 30-pin dock connector, or I believe it is either 6 or 9-pin, I don't remember which one it is, lightning connector. Now, you can also get a program called Reflection. Now, this is available, again, on both Mac and PC, but it does come at a pretty pricey premium. Wow, that's a lot of P words. So it is free for the first 10 minutes, but I believe it will cost you 15 minutes every session afterwards. So that is just highway robbery at this point. I just really don't recommend Reflection. Plus, this isn't a big problem for me because I have a compatible iDevice, but it could be a problem with you. You will need to have AirPlay mirroring on your device. So when it'll be something else, it'll probably be labeled something else in Reflection. If you click on that, you will need AirPlay mirroring to take advantage of its screen recording capabilities. Now, the other problem is, well, they both require a computer. And considering how the age of the computer is kind of starting to die out, the personal computer, like the Mac, the PC, the desktop, the laptop, the netbook, the Ultrabook, that's all starting to die out. We want to be completely PC-free. We just want our iPhones, our iPads, maybe even an Android device, or just, to have some variety. So, what do we do now? Well, you can get a Cydia application called Display Recorder, and I do recommend this. I think it's a very good screen recorder. It has a lot more features than Record My Screen, but these actual screen recording capabilities are not quite as good. Display Recorder is a tad bit laggy. Record My Screen is not quite as laggy. And also, you do need to be jailbroken in order to get Display Recorder. And even then, it is $1.99. Of course, you can get it free if you add a source. I don't remember which one. It's probably iHack's repo or Excel's or something like that. But it is still there. Also, this is one thing that... there's one thing that Record My Screen can do that Display Recorder can't. And that is record speaker audio while the microphone is still going on. So let's just go into a podcast. Yes, I know I'm a nerd, so I have nerdy stuff. And let's just go into all things considered.
Support for this podcast comes from Squarespace. it's never been more important to make a great impression online. Squarespace provides everything you need to create your own website, including customizable designs and 24/7 support. Learn more at squarespace.com.
Alright, you get the idea. I don't know if you could hear that or not, but as you could hear, it was playing the podcast. Now, if I would attempt something like this on Display Recorder, it would just completely just glitch out the audio, and as soon as it played, it would all be just ruined. I couldn't talk, all the audio would just be completely cut off. So that is a pretty big design flaw with Display Recorder, but Record My Screen managed to get around that. So, now that we got that, let's just go into the interface of Record My Screen. Here is the interface. As you can see, we have a little time counter. We have a green record button, a red stop button, and that's pretty much the extent of the interface. Quite simplistic, very easy to use. Here's where you can look at your previous recordings. Here is where you can look at some of the settings, like the video size. You can have native, 75%, or half. Not really sure how that would come in handy, but I'm sure it must have some kind of purpose. You can change the orientation from like portrait, landscape, home button to the left, home button to the right. You get the idea. I have it set to portrait right now. You can record audio, turn that on or off, just in case, maybe you don't want to record audio, maybe you just want like some public domain music playing in the background or something like that. You can change the sample rate from 44,100 hertz to 8,000 hertz. I, of course, prefer the higher sound frequency, but 8,000 hertz I would assume, be just there for space saving. Channels, you can do mono or stereo. I'm sure you can probably figure out what that does. And this tab just shows off some of the people who have worked on this application. So now that we've done this, let's go into how you get it, because I'm sure you've all been wondering that. Now, if you are jailbroken, you're in luck. And in fact, I would recommend, if you're jailbroken, get this over Display Recorder, because, well, one, this is free, and two, this is far more simplistic, even though Display Recorder does have more features. So, if you're jailbroken, again, this is free, and it is on the Cydia store. Now, I recommend that you do jailbreak, but let's say you're like me, and you're on 6.1.3, the highest firmware that the iPod Touch, or iPad, or even many models of the iPhone will accept. In fact, every iOS device except for the iPhone 5, which has 6.1.4, which is also not jailbreakable. So, let's just go into settings, just to prove that I am on 6.1.3, just to prove that this is not fake. And as you can see, 6.1.3 is the current iOS firmware on this device. So, first thing you're going to want to do is go to General, Date and Time, and Set Automatically. That would normally be turned on. You're going to want to turn it off temporarily. And you're going to touch on Date and Time, and it says Tuesday, July 16th. That is not the correct day. That is not the correct date, but we're going to change that temporarily. And I do say temporarily because if you change it permanently, there are a lot of applications. There are some applications that won't function properly. Of course, if you don't use these applications, then you may as well just set it like that. Unless, of course, you don't mind having the incorrect date on the lock screen. The two apps I found that don't really work very well are iMessage and FaceTime. And maybe, I'm not sure about the phone application, because I haven't tried this on an iPhone yet, but that very well could go down as well. Other than that, I found that the majority of the apps do seem to work. So, now that we've gotten that out of the way, we're going to go to Safari, and you're going to go to this site. I will have a link in the description. And this is a very good site. In fact, I would recommend that you add this as a web app, because it's a very great site. It is called Weebly.com or something like that. I don't know. They also have some fake, bogus jailbreak that doesn't really work. So, now that we've got that out of the way, let's take a look at what we have here. We have a few, emulators for, like, video game consoles, like, GBA for iOS, that is, of course, Game Boy Advanced, Gear Boy, that is, original Nintendo Game Boy and Game Boy Color, I would assume, iDOS, which is an emulator for disk-based operating system, or DOS, which, if you're not familiar with that, it's like what they had before. Well, actually, no. That is what Windows uses to operate. So you could technically download this emulator and run a very old version of Windows on your iDevice. A lot of these apps are jailbreak apps that are made available. So you're going to go down here to record my screen. Now, this is something kind of important. First of all, again, you have to set it to July 16th just because Apple has actually patched this. And you're going to have to go back to date and time. I forgot to mention this earlier. You have to go back to date and time and switch it back every time. Actually, no, I don't think I forgot to do that, so that was a complete waste of time. The other thing is you can only have one of these applications running at the same time. For example, if I were to download iDOS, I would lose the ability to use record my screen. So, there you go. So, we're going to tap install. It will say www.weebly.com would like to install record my screen. You'll just tap install. I'm not going to do that because I don't really want to reinstall the application. And voila, you have record my screen. So that's how to get this application. I hope you learned something from this. I hope you enjoy. And I hope you, yeah, bye.